Abusia for me more be a kwaba shonkopa esabaye King 2 TV studio. And your first time, I make sure to subscribe to King 2 TV. Like, comment, area comment section. So click on the notification button for more news updates. Sisi ano, Stephen Atubiga edin sendi ababonte. Na Stephen Atubiga yebetimi akase no ye formal, NDC member. No ka NDC amanyoko ni ba sisi ano ono a pemu akase onka NDC party ni bi. When I'm so ama lawyer Paul Adom Otchere Atubiga no say omra na mo having some conversations be about the NDC party na omohunia ekoso party ni. Na Paul Adom Otchere ebusa ni sembi na ebusefo anu yo ade man ni na and say also technically NDC for no omunya ready for power. And then in conclusion, NDC for a losing big time. It's some man I say the announcement or money cars and same way and he said, first of all, yeah share running mate. Na no pukwajiman. Undeserved that position cry because how did not stand for running mate for several years. We cry the late president Fifi Jonathan Mills and a free man. And how can unyambeye president amaye na no pokwajiman ababeyo vice president and so yesterday basically and it is wasafa professor na pokwajiman as running mate builder na nyame aduma on 2024 7th of December. They are not ready for omunye ready so be for opposition no matter back to power bill because na no pokwajiman only good inventions via a more Ghana and no former president John Dramani Mahama Nkrumah. Some opportunities be I was ordained both hands a grabby, but no a jai opportunity no kosa. So when you made the Kodia Potia, have former President John Dramani Mahama, just in same baby, and Stephen Atubiga Atubiga, Abrano and Paul, lawyer Adom Otchere having a conversation about the National Democratic Congress. It's even a semester of Brand Canon, you could see in Semahodra. Stephen Ekaka and same way. But before that, start subscribing to King 2 TV, like a commenting. Area comment section click on the notification button for more news updates. Make sure more reviews or for no I recommend this channel King 2 TV to a whole lot of people no be munya ekoso ewo my Ghana ma say yenche hono ye put matisia with us.
We've been lobbying most of the political parties, including some friends of Alan, to talk to Alan to come and merge with us. So fortunately, one of them has given in who they think that the NLC has a very good vision for this country and they would like to merge with us to give us a shot. And
so you are now two parties?
We are now two parties.
Did you observe the campaign launch of the NDC in Tamale?
In fact, it's one of the saddest moments for me in my 29 years, 30 years as a grassroots, as a foot soldier of my, a veranda boy of my previous party, the NDC.
Why?
At this moment, what I've come to realize is that everybody is an ostrich in the party. And those of us at the background or who are not sympathizing, sort of card-bearing members, are saying that we call them a Krokoko party. Everybody is pretending. I mean, look at, you're going to launch a national campaign, not a constituency, not a regional campaign. You are launching a national campaign. And you've gone to choose a vice president who is from a region that the 2020 election, the vote shrank to about 500,000 votes, I think the NDC got in her backyard.
Central region.
Central region. And then if you look at the voter region, which is supposed to be a World Bank, supposed to give us, I mean, Fifi Kotes alone, Keta, vote 900,000 alone some years back. It has shrunk all the way down to the extent that he realized that, look, let me pull back because now voter region gave us about 700,000 the 2020 elections, okay, which is supposed to be our umbilical cord of the NDC. Strategically, that should have been the place you go and launch the
voter region,
to go and launch the national campaign team, because that's our World Bank. You've denied them the running mate. Now, in Ashanti region, okay, which is also the place that most of the NDC votes come from the immigrants.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether you are born Northerner there called Ureku, you are born Northerner called Audu, you are still a Northerner. It's immigrants that give NDC the votes in Ashanti region from the Zongo communities. The Ashantis that are following the NDC is for business purpose. I was a member of the Presidential Reconciliation Team during 2012. We went around, led by Big Zayden, Kofi Ato. No, it was led by Alhaji Dusu Mahama, who was the chairman. Kofi Ato, Big Zayden, Dana Budakwe, and then Cecilia Johnson, Faustina Nelson, Big Zayden, and myself were taken down. We visited every constituency to do the reconciliation. As a matter of fact, we had the authority to withdraw a minister, a DC, or even a parliamentary candidate. Our committee withdrew Zita Okankwe, the parliamentary PC. Okay, we got to some place. I don't want to mention his name. A whole regional minister. When he's going to his hometown, he will remove the flag. Before we meet the party executives, the BNI, and they'll come and brief us exactly. They'll come and give us a briefing on exactly what is happening in every constituency or every region before we meet the people. Okay, and then what happened was that minister, when he's going to his hometown, he removed the flag, and then when he gets back to Ashanti, he'll put the party flag back on there. We wrote the report. He was just doing business. Even when they moved him from Ashanti region to Accra here, the foot soldiers went to him for help. I'm talking at the grassroots. He told them, I bought my position, just to tell you what the dynamics, what is happening. Now, you've chosen Tamale, for whatever reason, for the fear that Dr. Bawumia put in us. Believe me or not, my people, I will say we are scared. The way Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is giving us a run for our money. Look, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will walk to just passing by a constituency or just to introduce a PC to it. It's like beats. I mean, the people. So
in the northern region.
In the northern region, if you look at the crowd about Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is pulling, my brother, there's shiver, there is fear in the NDC. He's giving us a run for the money. But in all those, you've gone to launch a whole campaign, national campaign. You have a crowd that looks like what's the young man's name? The buffer, Hanan. A whole national team, a whole national
Buffer Stock Hanan.
Buffer Stock Hanan. His campaign launch in a constituency launch in Pusiga was just like the national. We were there. We stopped. We're in Nalergu area. Okay. We came there. We went to meet our executives. We said, look, let's come and see whether what we said is it true or not, as the vote keeps shrinking.
But maybe that's because Dr. Bawumia was there.
Well, I will not be surprised that he attracted more crowd than. But our candidate himself, I would say that he needs.
These are some of the pictures from the north.
These are some of the.
But I didn't know bars there. I did not organize. I mean, we know how these things happen.
No, rather, the reality is that I think an opposition parliament, a presidential candidate, who we have chastised for doing that ABCD, should not be attracting crowd if it is the reality on the ground. Should not be attracting crowd to the opposition. Are you getting me?
That's also about me speaking, isn't it?
Yes. So the opposition should rather be attracting more crowd because we've made.
But the crowd at the Tamale launch was massive.
For the NDC?
Yeah, massive.
No, my brother. It was so bad. Let me tell you something.
I saw it on TV. It was massive.
It was part of a lot of people did not attend because of the protest. The location, how people have pretended to be ostriches. Look, our candidate,
John Dramani
Mahama, my former party candidate. I don't know whether he just want to go through, because they know the reality that technically they are not prepared. Socially, what we see out there is not what is actually happening in the party. That is why when you see him, there's crowd. When he leaves, everything goes down. How can you launch a campaign in Tamale? There was no moment of silence. We didn't see that to honor Jerry John Rawlings. It's a national campaign that there's supposed to be at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes in remembrance of Jerry John Rawlings. And they have never gone to John.
You're right, because this is the first campaign launched since JJ died.
Thank you.
When he died in 2020, the campaign had already been launched.
Thank you.
So this is the first campaign launched since JJ died.
Thank you. And the best place to go and get blessing is to go to his grave. For people, they cannot write Jerry John Rawlings' name of the party. It won't work. It won't happen. We will not agree.
But JJ was not mentioned.
He wasn't mentioned. And I want them to understand that taking the daughter there. It is the spirit of the father that covers the daughter. If there's really, we all have angels.
That's what I was going to say. But JJ's daughter was there.
Thank you.
Son was there.
But that doesn't represent him. They are supposed to mention his name, mention all the casualties. My brother, imagine if NDC's candidate, my big brother John Dramani Mahama, wanted to speak. As he went on the podium, they had Uwadakun, they had all those Sylvester, all those who ever contested him from 2020 to date, standing by him. That should have shown that there's unity in the party. They were ready for power.
Dr. Bawumia did that. He had Cabinet Japan
Thank you.
and others.
Thank you.
Usofi
Thank
Akoto
you.
and others
Thank
with
you.
him. When Ashanti region.
Thank you. And the platform itself that they were all sitting, they were all pitiful, sitting like they had gone for an outdooring or funeral. Look, when you are...
That's not true. Look at the photograph
my
over
brother.
there. John Mahama
Yes.
is very hearty,
No.
chatting with the lady.
When you
So
are in...
what you are saying is not true.
The party... Look, this was unpatriotic. That is not the NDC that we know. That is
what
not...
is unpatriotic?
That
This
is-
photograph?
No, the clothes that they wore. You wore designer when you are in power.
What's the designer?
The designer... What they've worn is designer clothes. It doesn't show patriotism.
I don't understand.
Look, at NDC...
What designer what? It's a white shirt with his name John
No,
Mahama in there.
that is... That, I mean,
This is
intellectual...
the crowd you said was not a big crowd.
My brother...
This is the NDC crowd in Tamale. This was massive, wasn't it?
My brother...
Producer, that's NDC, isn't
Look.
it? Yes, it is. Yes.
We are talking about NDC last... Look, imagine the year 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the crowd that we gunned at the trade fair?
I know at the stadium. I remember.
the-
The Accra Sports Stadium.
That's-
The last one. That
yes,
was heavy.
yes.
That was heavy.
Greater Accra gave NDC or give 1 million plus votes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? For strategic reason. This should have even been the place to launch the campaign. What I'm trying to say...
But Stephen, you said the campaign should have been launched in Volta.
Yes.
Now you say Greater.
I'm saying that strategically, 3 places, they had options. Right now...
Why is the North not an option? The North is where the battleground is.
No, you the candidate, represent the whole North. Okay? You have an opposition leader. You have an incumbent who is also from the North. And then you must be able to show vim and zeal in the party in gunning the rest of the other place to help you. Whether they like it or not, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's vote would never go down in the northern region based on things that he has done, based on how he has made himself accessible. Now, granted that this picture, it doesn't move me as knowing what actually happens and how the kind of crowd that... Do you see the crowd that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is pulling? Do you see it? This is nothing... I'm talking about national law.
This is the NDC crowd, by the
Harun
way.
Edrisu can pull the same crowd.
I believe that. I believe that.
The same crowd.
I believe that.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I've seen crowd... what's the guy's name? The sports minister. He pulled the same crowd. The same crowd. Because I was in that constituency that day. I saw the crowd that he pulled. All I'm trying to say...
Mustafa.
Yes, Jane, our running mate, or my former party running mate. I was thinking she was going to vindicate herself, proving to some of us who criticized that she was not cut for that position, or at the moment, she wasn't the right person to use. Instead of, it should have been Julius Debra, Asiedun Ketia, Uwadako, Betty Mould, Mariam
Yeah,
Brew.
what did Jane do wrong?
When she was on the stage, even with something to read, she sounded like somebody who was trying to introduce Akobam to the North.
What are you saying?
Or somebody who was trying to justify the relevance of why case condom or rough rider should be used to reduce diseases or teenage pregnancy, as people already know. That wasn't the speech,